How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Salvage Auto Rebuilds, where today, as you guys can see, we have got ourselves a brand new project yet again. So this truck that we've got up onto the lift here is kind of missing all of its wheels, as you can see, and there's also a missing fender over here, and there's also a tailgate missing at the back. So yeah, this truck actually was very cheap, guys. I picked it up for a total of $5,000 as it sits here, and you can clearly see why. So this is a 1970s Ford F100, I think. I don't know, maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but the guy I bought this thing off said that it does run. It doesn't run very well. It's kind of like a barn find. So yeah, I guess we are going to be having a look and seeing if we can get this thing up and running, because I think it's time we get a next project in before we end our previous project, which is this Dodge Challenger over here. So now this thing needs a little bit of trim and also interior. As you guys can see, we are very close to getting this thing done. There are still some issues with the suspension that I need to address, like a bad tie rod over here. And there might be some other things that are close to where they are not going to be lasting too much longer. So yeah, it's a bit of a process, you know, getting a car fixed up like this. But we did also get the body polished. I think it's looking a little bit better now. It's no more orange peel from what I can see. It seems to be looking pretty flashy now. So as you guys can see over there, we've got a bunch of flashy interior parts. So we are going to be putting the interior together in the Dodge Challenger today and pretty much buttoning this car up visually. So as you can see, we're going a little bit of an ambitious route with this interior. Everything is going to be color matched to the car, so it's going to look a little bit more I don't know, yeah, just different. Let's just call it custom. So yeah, well, I think that is pretty much what we're going to start off with here, guys. I still needed to install all the trim as well. We've got a bunch of stuff over here to do. And then we've also got the Lexus IS300 that we are busy with, and we've got a bunch of parts for that. So I got a pretty nice deal with the parts that we've got over here. All of the panels are brand new, so we've got a brand new hood. We've got our brand new fender and also the front bumper and side skirt. And then also over there on the table, we've got a bunch of other bits and pieces like the grille, the headlights and the fog lights, and also the missing radiator support. And over there on the table here, we've got the new radiator and hoses for this thing as well. So hopefully today we're going to be able to get this thing up and running. So we are going to be mounting these wheels onto the car for the customer. Yeah, the customer actually said he liked the look of it, so we might end up chrome plating it for him, but he wants to know what it's going to look like first of all in black, and then he will decide if it's going to be staying black or if we are going to change it to chrome for him. So my job is to mount this wheel spacers as well and see how they are going to look on the car. And I think this set of wheels that we've got, these high wall 16 inches, they might actually work pretty well on the F100, although I'm not too sure. We'll still decide, guys, because I still got the wheels on the trailer as well that we need to swap out with the odd set of wheels that we've got here. We've got a total of 4 wheels that are kind of, you know, I painted them black, so they are kind of looking a little bit more inconspicuous, but we'll decide whether we're putting them on the trailer or not. So I just threw them over here, decide if we're going to use it or not. Okay, that's the old engine from the Challenger. So guys, we are going to see if first of all we can get this thing put together. So I'm going to open up the office and we are going to grab our toolbox and we're going to bring this out and see if we can put the Dodge Challenger back together first of all. And that way we can at least get that all out of the way, and then we're going to see if we can get the F100 up and running maybe. Come to think of it, I still need to strip the door off the Lexus because that also needs to be painted. So yeah, we've got quite a bit of stuff happening today, so let's see how we can do this. That's the wrong drawer, Funkel. Let's just close that one and open up this one. Okay, let's start with our parts that we need to screw down, like the mirrors. Okay, so we're gonna Just see if we can zip these down. Alright, there's the other one. Let's get this one onto the passenger side over here. Nice and simple, not a whole lot of problems. Well, fortunately for us, no problems at all. Alright, so the dashboard can also go in next. So we've got ourselves a matching cluster, which needs to be popped in there. I don't have a stereo just yet, so we'll get that when we are about to get this thing sent over to auction. Maybe a little bit later today, I will get a stereo and just pop it in there. Make sure we get that all nice and assembled. Okay, so let's get our very green dashboard installed. Yeah, I don't know. It's something different, guys. It's definitely not my usual, design or something that I want to do to a car. But I figured, yeah, what the heck? Let's just go and do something a little bit different. And I think you don't get more different than this. So we've got a bunch of new trim. So we're sticking to the original chrome trim pieces. These are just going to work out a little bit better in my opinion. So we'll see. Yeah, that kind of matches the chrome on the hubcap. So yeah, hopefully that'll work out. All right, let's get all of these trim pieces popped onto the car. We still got the fuel door as well that needs to be mounted, so we'll get that on. We actually need our screwdriver for this. Yeah, let's go ahead and pop that onto there. Okay. Screwdriver, and let's get over here. Zip it down. And I decided to chrome plate this thing as well. So that's going to be a matching chrome rear end all the way. Alright, so now that we've got that sorted, okay. I think we just got a couple of pieces of trim still to pop onto the car. So this goes onto the hood. Alright, so that goes onto there. Okay, then we got to figure out this one. This one goes on the back. Okay, so that's on the trunk, pretty much. Yeah, that's on the trunk. And then we've got all of these. This is for the front right-hand side. So that goes over there. Okay, looking pretty good, guys. We've got this thing nearly done. And then we can pull it out of the yard and make space for the F100 to be attempted to remove it. What is this? Oh, this is rear left. Okay, that's why that didn't want to pop onto there. Okay, so that goes onto that corner. This is for the front left. Okay, let's put this one onto here. Okay, looking good. And then we'll do this one right over there. Okay, so that is looking good. So now we've got to grab our wrench over here again. We've got some seats that need to go in the front. Okay, so starting with our passenger seat. We can get this one in. Okay, so let's just zip it down nicely like that. Okay, looking pretty good. Alright, we are going to rip out the old seat over here. And then we can at least grab the rear seat and get that mounted. Alright, come on, there we go. Alright, pop that down over there. Alright, let's grab the rear seat. Although, I think we should probably get this mounted first. This is our rear panels. So let's get that one into there. Alright, can I just reach the freaking bolt? There we go. Alright, looking good. And let's do this one next. For the rear left. Okay, that goes onto there. Alright, and then we can get our rear seat in. Okay, so this should go in no problems. Just like this. Alright, let's go and zip it down properly like that. Looking pretty good so far. And now, let's grab the driver's seat next. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so can we get this thing mounted? Yeah, there we go. Alright, looking pretty decent. Okay, now let's get our door cards on. Okay, this is for the passenger side. Yeah, that actually, I don't know. You guys need to tell me what you think about that. That is a super green interior. It's almost as if we are building a lowrider here, but I guess it's not really the type of car you would turn into a lowrider. But there we go. That is our Dodge Challenger fully assembled. Now I think we've got everything installed. Don't see any more parts for it. Whoa, wait a second. I forgot the freaking headliner. Of course there is. Okay. Yeah, so the headliner is going to stay black. I just figured this is something that just needs to bring a little bit of contrast, you know, to the interior. We've got to still mount the sun visors. How do these go on? I think it's just a little screw there. Okay, not too bad. And same with this one. All right, come on. Can we see the screw there? Okay. All right, now just flap these down. Okay. All right, this can go into the car next. All right, let's pop it in. Just like that. And now, last but not least, we need to mount this, the mirror, which is going to secure the headliner into place. Alright, so now what I will do, guys, with the auction of this car, if the owner of the car wants to have the interior fully black, we can always convert it black for them. So, but I don't know. It's gonna probably be a whole lot different from other vehicles that they have in their fleet. So somebody might actually appreciate this thing and just love what we did to it. So let's get this thing fired up again. And I'm going to pull this out of the yard now so that we can actually make some space for the F100 and see if we can get that thing fired up. At least we do know we've got the other V8 engine that came out of this car, which is also running if that one doesn't want to fire up. But okay, so there we go. That is the Dodge Challenger now done and dusted, or at least everything done what I'm going to be doing on camera to this thing. So I'm still going to do the tie rod at the front, which is bad, and we are still going to do the stereo on the interior, which is still something we haven't got yet. So yeah, that is pretty much that, guys, with the Dodge Challenger, and pretty soon here it'll be up on auction. So we'll see exactly when that is going to be. So now I'm wondering, you know what, we are going to have to paint a bunch of parts on this car. Let's see how this door... Okay, wait, let's maybe take off the glass and the interior panel first. Okay, so I think we need the screwdriver. And I think the door mirror also needs to come off anyway, so... Let's take this interior panel off here. Come on, here we go. Alright, be careful with this, we don't want to damage that. Alright, so that has been kept pretty well and very nicely preserved. Let's grab our door mirror off of here. That's also still painted. Okay, let's just put it down nicely over there. And then we're going to need our pry tool. Okay, let's get this front window out of here. Alright, so there it is. And this we can also just put it down nice and gently over there. Okay, now we need to take this door off because this also needs to be painted. So it's primed, but it's not painted yet. So we are going to be painting this as well. Alright, so now I've got a little bit too little space for everything. So we're just going to leave this door over here. And we are going to be painting this stuff. And I'll figure out what I'm going to do real quick before we start spraying. Maybe we can share the barrel over here with the side skirt. I don't know. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Because I think we can put the door on here and then maybe we'll do the side skirt on the floor. I don't know. Oh well, we've got to try and make do with what we have here. I don't know if I can actually squeeze this in front of the bumper here. Let's try this. Let's move the bumper back a little bit. Okay, do this and put it like that. This way around. Okay. Just grab it over there. Alright, hopefully this will fit here. And that way we can at least paint everything away from the ground. So we've got our 2 paint cans over here. We've got some clear coat over there, but we'll probably only do that off camera later down the line. And make sure that the parts can actually be polished up as well. Just to give it the shine that it's really going to need to match the rest of the paint. Alright, so here's our air compressor. And we are going to need our spray gun. Alright, yeah, we've started leaving our tools on the floor wherever we went with it. So just got to pick everything up a little bit later. Alright, there we go. Spray gun is ready for the paint. So let's put this into here. Come on, just get it in there. Alright, so I think let's cue a little bit of music and do some painting over here, guys. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully we can get this thing all covered up in nice blue paint here. Alright, well, there we are. So that is all painted, guys. I think we did pretty well. So, yeah, we didn't really need a second can of paint. But, as I said, these things are so inexpensive. It's just better to have enough than to run out and not have enough. Alright, so what we need to do next now is, I think we can probably assemble all of this. Put the headlights and the fog lights and also this on. And also get the radiator back into the car. And then that way, this car is going to be at least drivable without issues, without overheating issues. So we're going to need our welding machine first of all to weld it back into place. So let's bring this over here. Alright, we might need some more electrodes. I should have actually grabbed those. Okay, so where did I put them? Ah, there it is. Okay, so let's see if we can get this thing welded back into place. Alright, so we've got, okay, 3 welds on the side. Okay, let's put another electrode onto this thing. Come on, there we go. A weld over there, and I don't see any welds up here, so it looks like it just welds onto here. Like that, okay. Yeah, I don't see any other welds. Right, looks like that is it. Okay. Didn't expect it to go so quickly. Whoa, okay. Let's just put it down over here. Okay, and let's just put that on top of the welding machine for now. Alright, so the front end is coming together already. We've got a couple of things that can actually go on now. So, I think this pops into place. Let's just put it on here and see. Yeah, that doesn't need any screws. Okay. This goes in the bumper. This goes onto this panel. So this is our right-hand side headlight. Okay, looking pretty good. Alright, so that one is on, and then we'll get the left-hand side headlight. Just pop that onto its place here. And I think that is looking a little bit better. We've still got to mount the rest of the body panels and such to make this thing really look good. So we can't do the fog lights just yet because those need to go into the bumper, and also the other parts need to be dried first and clear coated. So we're going to give that a little bit of time to cure before we even remotely think about doing that. Alright, so I might quickly do the wheels next. I think let's do that, and then we at least got 4 matching wheels for our F100, because this is going to be the 4th wheel in the set then. Alright, so we are going to need a floor jack once again to do this, seeing as the lift is occupied by the F100 at the moment. So we'll quickly get that sorted. Alright, so this side we need to mount the wheel spacers and just see if they are going to be sufficient for this design of wheel, I guess. We could probably phrase it like that. Alright, let's get this wheel off of this corner first of all. Okay, so I think I did bolt it down all the way, so yeah, we're just going to have to undo all of them. And let's grab this wheel spacer over there. Alright, and I just want to zip it down real quick and see. Yeah, I think that's a bit of a better fit. That might actually look pretty decent at the end of the day, guys. I don't know. Definitely the wheel spaces are a game changer here. And do we get all of them? I think we've got all of them. Yeah, that's looking good. Right, let's do the same with this one. And we'll only really be able to tell once we've got the front bumper on what this is going to look like. But I think we can get a pretty decent idea if we just do it like this real quick. Okay, let's get that onto here. Alright, zip it down. Alright, tighten it down all the way. I think it's pretty much going to stay on the car now if everything checks out. Yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. Alright, let's have a look at this angle as well. Yeah, I don't think they need to stick out more than that. Considering this car is still at its stock ride height, it's not really gonna be like this thing is turned into a, you know, low, slow cruiser. It's still gonna be a very comfortable car with even these big wheels. Alright, so this we can take off now. This is our, well, customer's Steely. I did notice he's got a spare tire in the trunk as well the other day when I checked under there. So, yeah, no idea how to take the spare tire out of the trunk. So we'll just leave it be. So, yeah, he's got a matching, well, doesn't have a matching set of wheels then for the spare. But at least he's got a spare tire in the trunk. Alright, let's zip this down. Alright, that is looking pretty good then. Yeah, I actually think these wheels fit the car pretty well. Alright, and this wheel is going to go over to our F100. We are going to slap some wheels on this thing, lower it down and see how it sits. And hopefully it's going to work out and not have any major suspension issues. Okay, we're going to grab this one. Alright, put that in here. There we go. Alright, let's just bolt it down. Alright, I think that is looking good. So now we can lower it back down onto the ground. And here we go. Alright, so now luckily the car is under the carport in case it wants to start raining. Because, yeah, I don't know. Clouds are a little bit thick over there, but we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't rain because we don't have the hood on yet either. So it will be okay. I'm pretty sure. Alright, so now what I want to do, guys, is we want to see if we can actually get this F100 up and running. And I want to know if it actually runs and drives under its own power. And if that is the case, then, well, we bought ourselves a running and driving pickup truck. So I don't know. We're going to quickly see if we can figure this out. Alright, let's grab all the Steelies, I guess, yeah. Matching set of Steelies. And these tires are still pretty decent. So, yeah, I think these wheels will actually fit pretty well on this truck. Although I don't know if it's going to do very well cosmetically for the appearances of the truck. But it might actually work. I don't know. That's a Mercedes rim. Okay, let's put these on this side. Whoa, what is going on over here? Okay, we've got a broken brake disc. Well, I think for the purpose of this, I'm just going to see if the thing actually does fire up and if it does actually want to live. Well, of course it does, because we can pretty much do anything and everything that is necessary to get this truck perfect at some point. So we'll just get this thing up and running for now. And then if everything checks out, we might actually end up getting this thing, you know, cleaned up a bit today as well. Because I don't think we're going to be able to see through that windshield if we do decide to try and take this thing for a little bit of a cruise. So let's lower it back down. Alright, so now it sits actually kind of decent. It's not really leaning over to any sides that I can see. And this truck, I actually noticed it came with some very interesting license plates. Gone XL. So it's gone extra large. Although this is kind of a small truck, so I don't know. It's kind of weird why they've got that on the license plate, but okay. Let's hop into here and... oh, it is pretty nasty in here. Well, Yeah, I can't see much through the window. But okay, let's see if this happens. We're going to turn the key and see if it does anything. Alright, so far it's just cranking. Come on, old girl. I was told you ran, so you've got to start. Come on. Nope. I don't think this truck runs. I think they lied to us. Yep. It ain't running, guys. Come on. Nope. I think the engine is just way too far gone. Alright, let's have a look at this thing under the hood, guys. Alright, what could be the major issue here? We do have got some spares. These plug wires don't look the greatest. I don't know if we can get these off. What's the condition of that? It should still work, although it's not looking too great. Maybe the distributor is bad. Let's have a look and see if we can get this thing running with the parts that we can strip off the other engine. I should actually approach it from this side because I think the bolts are accessible from here. Yeah, I should have actually just ripped the whole engine out, but you know, yeah, that might also be a culprit. Right, and spark plugs could also be an issue. Pistons, I don't know. It's going to be a long shot trying to get this thing running like this. Fuel pump could also be what's causing this thing to not fire up, because maybe we aren't getting fuel. Fuel line is not terrible. Okay, let's take the fuel pump off. I don't know. In my opinion, that should still work. So that's not really the bad thing here. Maybe spark plugs. Alright, well, we've got a few spark plugs laying around. I think some old ones that came off other engines that we built. So might be worthwhile just taking these out and having a look at them. Alright, let's just see if we can get this thing up and running, guys. I mean, it's supposed to be a running truck. Alright, that spark plug is very bad. Can we get a closer look at this thing? Yeah, that tip is a little bit burnt. So I don't know if it's going to work anymore. We don't need that now. Let's just pick these out one by one. Alright, this one is even worse. Yeah, that is bad. Okay. Alright, this one. Yep, just as bad. It's quite bad. And this one. Alright, this one is actually not bad. That should still work. Okay, so we can go ahead and put this one in. Okay. Let's quickly check inside. I think I've got some loose spark plugs here from an old engine. Some of them are new. That one is brand new. This one is brand new. There's a couple of brand new ones here. And then we've got some old ones over here, which still also should work. Alright, let's go and pop the new ones in on the one side, and then we'll check the other side if we need more. We've at least got some more. Okay, so there's a new spark plug for there. Okay, that might work. Alright, there's a new one for over here. And the last one for over there. Okay, and then we'll put this over there for now. Okay, let me quickly zip this down. Okay, and then we can also check the other side. Go around here and just undo all of these. Yeah, because it'll be interesting to know how this truck's going to run, if it does run. Yeah, that one isn't bad, so that's a good spark plug. And this one. Yeah, once again, we've got a bad one. Okay, so let's grab this new one over here. Alright, come on. You just stand up a bit. There we go. Okay, pop that into there. And then this one is... that should still work. It's not the greatest, but it should still do what it's supposed to. And then this one... also not too bad. Okay, so those two should actually still at least give enough spark to fire this thing up. So... alright, come here. There we go. Alright, let's zip this down. Alright, so now I think what I'm going to do is let's check the other engine for a better distributor and spark wires and also a fuel pump. Okay, let's check it quickly and see what we can find on here. Yeah, this engine is also kind of bad. Yeah, we've got a better spark plug. Well, spark wires and... Okay, that's not the bolt for the distributor. Okay, let's just undo this one. Okay, come on, there we go. Alright, let's just tighten that up again. Fuel pump looks just as bad, actually. This one is not the greatest, so I think the other one we have is a little bit better. Let's go and check it out. Right, let's put this distributor with the spark wires on just like that. Okay, so that is done. Yeah, as I said, this fuel pump is the better one of the two that we currently have. The other one we also know works, but it's not great. Alright, come on. Can we just get over there? Okay. And now we need the fuel line once again. Another thing to consider is checking if the thing has got some gasoline in the tank. Because I don't think our cluster is showing us if there's any fuel in the tank. So, I don't know. Let's hop in here. Okay. Alright, let's give it another try with what we have done now. Come on, old gal. Replace some spark plugs. Maybe this is going to help. Unless if there's no compression. Which it's a little bit hard to tell at the moment. Come on. Might end up killing the battery. Nope, I don't think she's gonna spring back into life. Yep, no, that looks like it's just way too far gone, guys. So I think we need to bite the bullet and just get this engine out of the truck and see if we can inspect the internals real quick. Yeah, our engine stand is empty, so let's go ahead and do this. Nice and simple. Pretty much the same as our Dodge Challenger. We've got a couple of bolts to take out here. We'll take the fuel line out. Okay, put that on the floor for now. Alright, and then take this out. Okay, and then wait a second. Let's also do the exhausts. Yeah, otherwise this is going to be a pain to get the engine out of here. Right, put that. Alright, let's bring it this way. Alright, come on. Don't you get all weird on us. Yeah, that exhaust actually looks pretty decent. Might have been replaced at some point. Alright, this one. Yeah, this one isn't as good as the other one, but it's also not bad. That's still usable. Okay, let's check this side out. Okay, get that loosened up, and we've got a bolt over there and over there, and now, come on, up we go. Okay, all right, let's just set it down for a second. All right, so yeah, the engine block is also kind of bad. Whoa, yeah, that's a bit of a bad one. All right, let's try and take off the oil pan here, because I need to check the pistons, because we've got a couple of wait a second. I actually might have some high performance pistons. Now this is going to be a Frankenstein engine if I did this. But we've got some performance pistons that came out of the Camaro's engine. And we've got a set of rockers over there, which is something we could also use if we need to. Just to get this thing running. And then we can decide what we want to do. If we want to go as far as rebuilding the engine completely or getting a new engine. I mean, it deserves a you know, a chance at life again. Okay, so let's get the oil pan. Alright, let's check this out. Alright, and now, do we see any immediate problems here? Let's see, you know, camshaft is bad as well. We can see it kind of from here. The crankshaft itself also doesn't look the greatest, but we'll see. Alright, let's strip this one out. Okay. Yeah, that piston is kind of bad. Alright, this one. Not a bad one. Come on. Whoa, there we go. Yeah, that's also a bad piston. And then this one is also bad. I think I loosened another bolt on another one. Okay. Yeah, that one is also bad. And then we've got the last bad one that I saw here somewhere. Come on, where is it now? Is it... I think it's this one. Now, which one did I loosen up? But... Okay, so those are good. That one looks good. That one looks good. This one looks okay. Alright, well, let me just make sure I don't end up messing things up here. Let's just check this side as well. Yeah, no, I'm working very uneconomically here because just like kind of trying to do this without spinning the engine around. It's almost as if I'm too lazy to spin the engine around, but we've got 4 bad pistons removed. Alright, so that one looks good, that one looks good, this one is decent. Okay, and then we've got another decent-ish piston on that side. Okay, so if we grab the 4 pistons from the shelf over here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Okay. And then we've got the rockers over here. I doubt we're going to use this, but we'll see. All right, let's get these pistons into here. All right, come on. This is going to be a little bit tricky getting them in like this, but there we go. We've got that one in. All right, and next one like this. All right. And there should be one for there. And then another one. Come on, where's the last one? Oh, this side. Okay, there we go. Alright, so the crankshaft itself, we already know, is also kind of bad. Everything is kind of bad on this engine. So I wonder if this thing will fire up into life now. So, yeah, maybe the compression was just a little too bad. Alright, and hopefully we still retained our oil in the oil pan. Because that'll be great if there's a little bit of oil in here still. Might be safe enough to fire it up. I don't know. Alright, well, let's take this back into the truck and just hope for the best. Alright, so mounting the engine back in once again. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I just think it's better to try. You never know if you don't try, I guess. So let's see if we can get the fuel line back in here. Okay, that's bolted down. Alternator seems to be decent. Okay, so we've got all of those. Okay, this side. Check what's going on this side. That, and that. The starter looks good, so that's not the problem. Alright. Fingers crossed, guys. I hope this thing fires up now so that we can move it out from under the carport here. Alright, let's see what it does this time. And there we go. Alright, so the engine runs. Okay, so now I cannot see anything in front of me. Well, first of all, the hood is open. And second of all, the windshield is freaking dirty. Okay, so let's get our pressure washer, which is over here. Okay, let's grab this. Alright, let's give this thing a little bit of a bath, guys. I want to see how well she's going to clean up, and then we've also got a better idea of what we are working with here. Just blast that rust away. Whoa, okay. Yeah, this thing is rusty. And also a lot of clear coat fade on the paint, which is to be expected from an old truck like this. I mean, pick this thing up for 5 grand, and so far we haven't spent any money on it. We just pretty much used what we had laying around in the shop. We might need a fender and a tailgate, but yeah, I think at least this thing is going to be mobile and able to move. Yeah, the truck bed actually doesn't look terrible. It's got a little bit of rust on that tub over there, but I think we've got it more or less better. Doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it's just gonna at least allow me to see through the windshield. That'll be great. Okay, can we... How the heck does this thing go back in? It's sometimes a bit tricky. Alright, so now we can finally move this thing away from our two-post lift. Alright, there we go. No, come on. Would you latch? For crying out loud. Alright. Alright, so now we don't have the exhausts on, so this thing is going to be super loud, but I just need to move it. Alright. Well, she moves under her own power. Brakes are a little bit wonky, but we know we've got a broken brake disc. But I think she's gonna come back to life, guys. This thing is definitely gonna be one of those which we can get fixed up. Let's just take it around the shop here for now, and we'll do a U-turn over here. Yeah, she actually doesn't run too bad now with just some pistons installed on this old engine. Fired old engine. Alright. Let's not go crazy in the yard here. But alright, I think that is actually pretty decent, guys. We've got this thing up and running by hook and by crook, as I would like to say. It's not really ideal, and I actually like the brown paint job. This is a very 70s color, if you ask me, but I'm not too fond of the blue interior, really. I might change that. But yeah, I'm actually quite stoked that this thing moves now under its own power, and we've got some decent tires on it, at least, thanks to the old tires that came off of our truck, or other truck. So yeah, I think this is actually going to be a very exciting project for me to get my hands on and try and sort it out. So guys, I think there's not really a whole lot left to do for today. What we could potentially do, let's just have a look around. Okay, I actually wanted to see if we can strip the interior out of the Camaro, because guys, I think it's time we gave the Camaro a little bit of love on the interior side of things. On the bodywork, I do not want to really touch the bodywork, but the interior needs to come out of this thing. And I don't know what that's going to entail, whether I'm going to be able to do this. So yeah, she's actually parked a little bit. Yeah, I parked the Challenger a little too close to this thing. So let's move the Challenger out of the way again. Okay, and then we're going to rip open the door of the Camaro and see if we can strip out some of the interior. Yeah, this engine actually packs a bit of a punch with those triple carbs. Alright, let's just leave it here. Alright, get the handbrake up. Alright, so let's see what it's going to take to get this interior out of the Camaro. We've got some bad seats. Needs to come out at front. And there's a bunch of stuff. Ooh, okay. Even back here, we've got to undo that. Can we open this door? Yeah, just about. Okay. Let's bring our tools, guys. We need to pick up the tools first of all, because they are scattered all over the yard. Alright, there's the pry tool. There's our socket wrench. Oh, come on. Can I grab the damn thing? Okay, socket wrench. Here's our wrench. And where is the screwdriver? Screwdriver should be somewhere here. I think it's all the way over there on the table. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab this. Okay. Alright, let's pop this into here. I don't really need to close it, but let's just do it for good measure. Alright, bring it over to the Camaro and see how this interior comes apart. Alright, let's start with the stuff that I've seen so far. We've seen a bolt over here for the carpet, I think. Alright, there we go. Alright, that is the trunk carpet, I think. Or, well, I see they call it the inner floor in this case, but okay. Right, anything else? Well, we've got the rear seat needs to come out first of all, I think. Then we can see a bit better what's going on here. So let's grab this back seat. Hope I'm going to get it out of here. It's going to be a little bit finicky probably, but there we go. Alright, got the back seat out. Back seat is not terrible, but it's definitely worn. All right, now. I don't know how this door card comes off, guys. It might actually just pop off with the pry tool. Let's see. Yeah, let's grab this and try this. There we go. Okay, so that is how you take the door cards off of this thing with a pry tool. This door card is actually in fairly decent shape, but I'm thinking we need to do a different color interior. Might actually get the panels refurbished if we can. That might be another option. Yep, this one is bad. Okay, so I wonder if these things can be refabricated or upholstered. Yeah, that's probably the right word for it. Refurbished. Okay, how does this come out? This is our passenger seat. Okay, I don't know if the carpet is gonna stay put. Alright, there's the seat. One bad seat for the front. Okay. Alright, so we are gonna be using the pickup truck to go home probably. Depends. I might actually drive this home. Well, we'll see. Because now the Camaro is going to be out of action. Because we don't have interior in this thing then. Alright, let's see. The seat is also coming out. Yeah, without a struggle. Yeah, they both are actually quite bad, guys. So, alright, let's see what else we've got to take off here. Is this our headliner? It might be. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that's the headliner. Okay. This might need a little bit of finagling to get out of here. Alright. Can we just get it out of the car? Alright, I don't know why I can't seem to grab this thing out of here. It's stuck somehow. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to be concerned about it. We'll get it figured out. Wait a minute. I think I've got it. There we go. Okay. Alright, there's the headliner. Not in terrible shape, but definitely something that can be improved. Okay, let's get this rear panel off of this side, which is looking a little bit nasty. I think it's just the one bolt. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that is out. Alright, and then the other side, this one can also come out. Probably only has the one bolt as well. Okay, and okay, that thing. Yeah, there we go. Alright, we've got it. Okay, this one doesn't look terrible, but the rest of the parts are actually in very, very poor state. Alright, so how does this dashboard come out? There should be some screws somewhere. We gotta figure out where those screws are. Might take a little bit of creativity here, but let's see. Should be some screws over here. What is that? That's not a screw? Okay, now I might be mistaken. Doesn't this thing just pop out with the pry tool? I don't know. Gotta figure this out. Alright, let's maybe see if we can see something better on this side. I don't know. Yeah, hell, I don't see any screws on this thing. Okay, well, let's try this then. Oh, that's the cluster coming out. Okay, that's good. We can at least maybe check this thing out. Yeah, this thing is broken. Okay. The carpet can pop out like this. Okay. Yep, there we go. Alright, there's the carpet. The carpet actually doesn't look bad. Yeah, I don't know. It's not the greatest, but it's also not terrible. So it's one of those things that is just a little too far gone to my liking. Okay, so what do we have over there? Is that a bolt? It is too. Okay, how does this come out? Is this the center console now? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the whole center console is out. Okay, this is actually pretty decent. So we can definitely reuse the center console. I think it's already a decent color. And as for the dashboard, I've got no freaking clue how this thing comes out. It's gonna be, yeah, probably very tricky getting that thing out. Alright, we gotta just keep hunting for screws or something. I think there must be something here. Alright, well. Yeah, I don't see anything. And it doesn't seem to want to budge with the pry tool. Alright, well, let's just put that back. Alright, well, what are those? Wait a second, am I... Yeah, I didn't even check there. Okay, I see some bolts. I think those are bolts. Yep, those must be bolts. Okay, there's one there. Let's check the other side here. Alright guys, so those two bolts loosened up the dashboard for us. So we've got a pretty bad looking dashboard. So I'm hoping I can find another one of these that's got the Z28 on there. I don't know if that actually pops off with the pry tool. I doubt it. Let's just see. Where did I put the freaking pry tool now? It should be here somewhere. Alright, there it is. Okay, let's go and check this thing out and see if... well, I think this... Well, I don't think that'll come off either. But okay, don't worry about that for now. And there's our emblem. Alright, so... Yeah, our Z28 badge, guys. We managed to salvage this. Okay, that is epic. Alright, so we are going to have to see what we're going to do about the interior for the Camaro. Hopefully this will be something we can sort out in the next episode. Might have to just see what I can find. So yeah, if we can get the interior sorted, at least it's going to be a little bit more comfortable inside the Camaro. Because those seats were actually bad and it was so bad sitting on it. Alright, so let's see if the steering column is any good as well. Alright, steering column. Actually not terrible, but we do have got to check our steering wheel as well, which is... Oh, so this isn't the original Camaro steering wheel. This is a Grand Classic. Grand Classic steering wheel, guys. How about that? Okay. And we've got the steering column over here, which is the... looks like it's got leather grain on it. It's actually not terrible, but... I think we can probably replace that as well. Might as well. Alright, well, let's just... put this down over here for now with the rest of the parts, and then I've got quite a bit of work to do sorting everything out, getting new parts for this thing's interior, guys. I think we made the right choice by taking everything out so that we can actually figure out what's going on with this Camaro once and for all, at least on the interior, make it look a little bit better. So yeah, I think that is going to be everything that we have time for today's episode. It's been going on long enough. I think we've got quite a lot of stuff done. I am, however, going to see if I can also find a tailgate for the F100 and also the missing fender on the passenger side there. And then we can probably also, yeah, maybe I'll do the clear coat off camera on all the body panels, and then we can just polish it up in the next episode and get this thing buttoned up, because I think this car is very close to getting done. And then once this thing is put together, that is at least another spot open in our little tiny yard over here. So guys, thank you all so much for tuning in to today's episode. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I will appreciate it very much. And then I will see you all, in the next one. So cheerio for now.